Most people think minimalism is about having less. And this is true as far as it goes. It is fewer objects on the shelves, fewer commitments on the calendar, fewer distractions on the screen. It is a measurable reduction. But minimalism is not the destination. It is the clearing. It is the act of creating an empty space. It asks one question repeatedly. What can be removed? What is unnecessary? What is taking space, energy, or attention without giving anything of substance in return? It is a process of subtraction. It edits life down to its essential structure. It strips away the layers of excess so that a form of clarity can appear. Yet clarity alone is not a life. A clear room is not a home. A silent schedule is not a day. This is where the other idea begins. Simple living does not start with removal. It starts with a different kind of attention. It begins with listening. Instead of asking what is needed, it asks something quieter. What actually matters here? What holds value? What brings a sense of substance? Simple living is not fundamentally about owning fewer things. It is about choosing a different rhythm, a slower, more deliberate pace, a pace that allows for attention, a pace that allows for presence. It is not about emptiness, but about fullness of a different kind. So we can see the difference. Minimalism clears the room. Simple living decides how to sit in it. Minimalism creates silence by reducing noise. Simple living uses that silence with intention. Without the practice of minimalism, life often becomes crowded. There are too many physical objects, too many scheduled obligations, too many digital inputs, all competing for a finite amount of attention. The feeling is one of clutter and pressure. Without the orientation of simple living, however, a life can feel empty. Even when it is well organized, a space can be perfectly clean and still feel restless. A schedule can be highly efficient and still feel meaningless. The emptiness is not one of objects, but of intention. Their focus is different. Minimalism focuses on control. It is an exercise in discernment and boundaries. Simple living focuses on alignment. It is an exercise in values and rhythm. Minimalism asks whether something is needed. Simple living asks whether something is nourishing. The changes they bring are often visible in different ways. Minimalism often begins with the visible. Objects leave the home. Spaces open up. Surfaces become clear. The evidence is physical. Simple living is quieter. Its changes are harder to measure. They happen in the choices that shape time. How hours are spent. How attention is directed. How much urgency is allowed into the ordinary moments of a day. Minimalism removes what distracts. Simple living attempts to restore what was lost in the distraction. Qualities like slowness, depth, continuity. Consider time. In a minimalist mindset, time is often optimized. Schedules are refined. Inefficiencies are removed. The value is on precision. In a simple living mindset, time is respected. Days are allowed to breathe. Moments are not always rushed toward an outcome. The value is on experience. Minimalism is often about the power of saying no. Simple living is about the care required for saying yes. It is important to see that neither is complete on its own. Minimalism, without the direction of simple living, can become rigid. It can become too focused on rules, on aesthetics, on control for its own sake. The empty space can become a demand. Simple living, without the discipline of minimalism, can become cluttered in its own way. Too many good intentions, too many meaningful projects, too many valued things competing at once. The focus can fragment. Together they create a form of balance. Minimalism removes what drains energy and focus. Simple living then directs that reclaimed energy toward what remains. Minimalism clears the path. Simple living decides how to walk it. This is not about adopting a label. Labels are a form of noise. It is about observing a rhythm. A life that moves slower, not because it is inefficient, but because it is intentional. A life with fewer things to manage, so that more attention can be given to what cannot be replaced. Time, health, relationships, a sense of inner stability. Many people begin with the objects. They declutter their physical surroundings. Later, they may realize the real clutter was never only physical. It was mental, emotional, digital. It was a clutter of expectations. The mental clutter is the most difficult to see. It sits in the background, operating unnoticed, until the space around it clears. Then it becomes obvious. Obvious how much energy was being spent on maintaining it, worrying about it, organizing around it. Minimalism can open the door. Simple living is what teaches you how to stay inside that quieter space without immediately rushing back out to fill it. There is no perfect, permanent balance to be found. There is only adjustment, observation, different. Seasons of life require different weights. Different circumstances call for different rhythms. Sometimes the practice of minimalism is needed more. Life has become dense, and subtraction is the necessary correction. Sometimes the spirit of simple living needs to take the lead. Life has become hollow, and intentional presence is the required response. The point is not to master either concept. The point is to notice. To notice when life starts to feel off, too full, too fast, too scattered. Then minimalism offers a way back. It asks what can go. To notice when life starts to feel too empty, too quiet, too controlled. Then simple living offers a way forward. It asks what wants to stay. The goal is not less. The goal is not more. The goal is enough. Enough space to think. Enough silence to hear oneself. Enough structure to feel secure. Enough openness to feel alive. Minimalism is the act of clearing away what no longer serves. Simple living is the practice of filling that space carefully with what quietly does. And when these two movements meet, life can stop feeling like something to constantly manage. It can begin to feel like something to inhabit, slowly, intentionally, without urgency. There is no finish line here, no final version of a life that has been simplified enough. There is only the ongoing practice, the practice of noticing what is present, and then deciding calmly whether it belongs. Some things belong for years. Some things belong for a single season. Some things never belonged at all. Minimalism aids in letting go of what does not belong. Simple living aids in holding on, with care, to what does. Both require a form of honesty. Both require patience. Neither happens quickly. The changes are gradual. The benefits are quiet. They are felt more than they are seen. A day feels different when there is less to manage. A week feels different when there is space within it to pause. Over time, this difference compounds, not in dramatic ways, not in ways that are easy to explain to someone else, but in the feeling of coming home to a life that fits, a life that does not require constant adjustment, a life that does not feel as though it is always one step away from collapsing under its own weight, a life that holds together because it was built gradually around what matters, not around what was merely expected. Minimalism and simple living are not the same thing, but they often move in the same direction, toward clarity, toward presence, toward a quieter kind of stability, the kind that does not need to be defended or explained, the kind that simply is. For now, until the next gentle adjustment,